I would like to call the March 6, 2025 Wall City Council meeting to order. Carolyn, would you please read roll? Call the roll.
Mike Anderson,
Here.
Hawk,
Here.
Williams,
Here.
Houston,
Here.
Stan Anderson,
Here.
Morgan,
Here.
Hoffman. We do have a quorum.
Okay, let's stand and say the pledge of allegiance. Deputy Clerk, would you lead us?
Yes, ma'am. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So. Second.
Mike has moved.
Oh, wait, no, are you out of order?
Oh, should we do the police report? Is that what you want to do? Oh, order of emergency, sorry. Okay, is there any order of business for emergencies?
No.
Is there attendance on?
She just wanted to do that.
Attendance on Zoom.
I have Councilman Stan Anderson and Engineer Ted Schultz on Zoom.
Okay, thank you for pointing that out. So then to give us our deputy report, Deputy Clerk, please.
Good evening. For the month of February, we had a total of 530 city hours. We had 30 training hours and 80 vacation hours. We took care of 2 warrants and had 1 non-warrant arrest. We had a handful of other calls for service. It looks like the majority of our calls for service were community activity and extra patrols. So that's pretty standard business for us. All in all, I would say it was a fairly standard month for the sheriff's office here in Wall. We had 6 citations and 29 warnings as far as traffic activity. Anyone have any questions? Thank you.
We didn't get a hard copy in our packet, did we?
Yeah.
Did we? I must be wrong.
I was curious, do you still stop in at Prairie Village and chat with the folks?
Yes, yeah, we try to get over there when we can, as often for, just to check in and say hi as much as we can. We're also there for, other calls for service from time to time as well.
Okay, very good. All right. Moving on then, now may I actually probably have a motion for adopting the agenda, right?
And a second.
So it's been moved and seconded, all those in favor
Did
say.
that, I was concentrating.
I was.
You know, something I noticed, Carolyn took the role in the reverse order. Not really true.
So that's my problem.
Trying to mix it up, having fun, you know?
First time.
I didn't want a no response right away. I knew Hoffman was better.
Okay, well, so we got that. Okay, so now did we vote to approve? Everyone's approved, is that right? The agenda?
We have
Okay.
a first and a second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Okay. Close, motion carries. Does anyone have a conflict of interest? Moving on then, the minutes of the February 20th, city council meeting was in your packet. If you've had, if you've reviewed that, would I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay.
Jerry moved, Dan seconded. Any comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, also in your packet is the City of Wall claims. Today or this evening, they amount to $60,857.63. Also, the fire department claims $1,268.13. Also, the library claims, $810.81.
There were no cemetery. I didn't put that.
Yes, I noticed it. Are there any questions? If not, I would take a motion to approve the City of Wall Fire Department and Library claims.
Don't move.
Dan's moved,
Second.
Mike seconded. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, also in your packet, for your review, what is the on-call schedule, the employee overtime, vacation time, the ambulance financials, the library meeting minutes from 2022 through March of 2025, the water usage, the sales tax report, as well as the BB, the budget report, the expense, and also is a building permit for Harvey Miller to build a fence at 308 Glen Street with the permit inspection on the back in the drawing. And a permit for Cornerstone Industries to build a townhouse at Echo Valley on Lot 3, Block 4. And the design is provided us. The lot was inspected by Garrett, and he measured all the setbacks, and everything is appropriate, so those have been approved. Okay, so moving on is our visitor agenda request from Jim Coates. Jimmy, would you like to step to the podium this evening? Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I just had a simple request. You know, I've been having financial struggles since that fire, and I haven't had any income since that day, basically. And I really don't have enough to get Fat Boys going. It costs more to put the inventory. I'd have to get a propane tank. You know, it's just a really higher, you know, we're talking about 20,000 to get it rolling, and I don't have it. And I'd like to put a food truck on the one corner of Main Street closest to the post office. And then fence off the whole, you know, so it's safe, obviously. And we could leave 3/4 of the fence up. I just wanna take a little bit down, so there's not so much exposure still. And just have, you know, probably 25 or 20 feet of it, you know, and we could even move it sideways to help cover part of it. And, you know, of course, we get insurance and all that too, but, you know, basically we just want one food truck there and a few tables and chairs. And if I thought there was an issue, you know, we could fence all the way around the back and all the way down the sides. And, you know, you guys could give me approval, you know, to make sure it's done good and right, so we can, you know, make sure it's all safe, or, you know, so that you guys feel it's good enough or safe before we got started. But we could get all that work done, you know, or have Garrett look at it, or who, you know what I'm saying, just make sure it would be copacetic with you guys. But I'd surely appreciate it, my family would appreciate it. We're getting further behind every day, you know, trying not to sell more, but do what we gotta do. But you know, if we can do good enough there might be a chance then I could make enough to get Fat Boys going too.
Will you own the food truck? Or will?
No, my brother-in-law's got it, and we'd be using his sales tax license number on it.
So upon reviewing this request and checking our zoning ordinance, because there was that change to all of them. After reviewing that, food trucks are not included in our ordinance and therefore they're not allowed. Unless they were in place prior to our renewal of our ordinances, which was October 9th, I believe, of 2024. Just sharing information.
So I'd ask for a variance.
When they're not included, they can't do a variance. The only way would be to make an amendment to the ordinance.
Okay, I'd ask that you make an amendment to the ordinance then. For a business that's the second standing long business in this town, that'd be, I think it would be appropriate.
Okay, so there is a process
Mhm.
to do that. I believe Carolyn did do some review and check with some other communities about how they've addressed food trucks, because we just missed it. When we redid the zoning ordinances, that never came up and we didn't get it in there. So what she's saying is at this point, it's not permitted and cannot even go under conditional use. So I'm not saying that food, but anything that's in place is grandfathered in. So if that's what the council wants to do, is to allow food trucks, then we have to go through that ordinance process, which would be writing it, proposing it, advertising it. So it's not something we could do tonight.
Sure, I understand that.
What about if you put it out that ways? You already,
Well,
that's
that's-
commercial property, that's all
It's,
there.
you know, I'm not trying to tell you business,
that-
but
You
It's
would
not
have to,
permitted.
it's not permitted.
Even there, and it's just
Even
not
there.
on Main Street.
It's
No.
just
It's not permitted.
not permitted under highway commercial, under
Oh.
residential, under ag, under industrial park. It is not included in our ordinance.
well, I'd ask maybe in the future, you know, I'm always trying to think ahead, but, you know, in the future, I might want a food truck down there too. Or, you know, or other, something else maybe, you know, some other vendor or something. But, you know, it just, you know, as the foot traffic, there's not even 1/100th of the foot traffic that there is on Main Street. Main Street's a unique property with foot traffic because of the drug traffic. So, you know, we would do probably a 20th of the business of a food truck up there as we would downtown.
He had the food truck up in the lot where the old fountain was, correct?
Yeah,
And it didn't,
it generated, you know, it was okay, but it wasn't gangbusters by no means. Even during the rally. And there'd be different food served too. Wouldn't be barbecue.
But again, since it's not already currently there doing business, it wouldn't be allowed there either. It's just not.
When did the ordinance go into effect?
I think it was October 9th was, well, the first reading was like in September, the second reading, and then, so it was in effect on October 9th because there was a publication process.
So that would have to be a discussion of the council whether they want to add it. And if that's the case, then we would have to write it. We would look at some other communities to see how they, what they propose, and because there are some communities, obviously Rapid City, because they have them out by Founder's Park. Every day, 2 or 3 or 4 of them out there. So
I'll be honest with you too, I was hoping I'd be farther along on something on this, but I just haven't had any success, you know. And countless thousands of phone calls and talking to people and. But,
Okay.
you know, I haven't given up, obviously, so.
Okay,
So when could I have an answer then? How long would it take for that?
well, we'd have to put it on the agenda that that's what we wanted to discuss. And,
I think
And-
actually the planning and zoning have to review it first as
well,
well.
that is exactly right, yeah.
Okay.
So it'd have to go to planning and zoning first.
I looked up, I think Custer, it might have been Hill City, I think Custer, and they had like a 7-page ordinance on food trucks. It was,
Well, let's take after President Trump and try to limit the bureaucracy.
Good idea. Good
We're
idea.
trying to limit the bureaucracy and we're trying to get business flowing. And, you know, we're trying to make it easier for businesses to get going. And, you know, I don't wanna say that's part of the problem sometimes with our cities, counties and states, but I do wanna say that because I've been through a lot of ringers in my business over the course of my years.
Mhm. So, okay, so that's what we'd have to do, first of all. The council would have to agree that, yes, this is something we need to address, and then we'd have to follow the process and publicize it, take it to the planning and zoning, and that'd be a process. So get it done overnight or even in 2 or 3 months, I'm not sure we can do that. And I totally agree with what you're saying about trying to get regulation out of somebody's way, but I want you to be aware that if you're eager to do a food truck, you know, that there's places that do allow, and maybe you could try that for
Well,
now and then
yeah.
come here.
But once again, you know, it's our property. We've been in business for 80 years in this town. I just, you know, I feel like it would be the right thing for you guys to do.
Okay,
And I think you guys need to really think about it.
okay,
Okay?
certainly.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this time, we have an opportunity for public comments. A member of the public could discuss or express concern to the council with any issue on or not on the agenda. Action won't be taken in it's 3 minutes. Does anyone have something they'd like to
No
address?
concern, but, I'm here just to remind you that, well, everyone's gonna have an annual meeting on March 18th. It's Tuesday, in 2 weeks, at 7 PM here at the community center. And also about the EMT class, I told you before, we're gonna have an EMT class this summer. So we're gonna have an informational meeting on March 31st at 6 PM here at the community center as well,
Did you say 21st?
31st,
31st.
And at what time?
6 PM.
no, what was that?
It's gonna be just informational meeting about EMT class.
Before the annual meeting?
No, 31st is the.
Ah, thank you.
So that EMT, you're hoping to get at least
10
10.
people.
So I'm hoping that some of our larger employers would try to recruit people out of their businesses that would be willing to take that training and build our ambulance, so. Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Is there anyone else that'd like to make any comments? Okay,
Gary, I'd like to make a comment on something different.
oh, sure. You have 3 minutes.
When the cactus burned down, when the fire trucks come for about the first 20 to 30 minutes, you couldn't get the water on. And I just wanted to make sure that that issue's fixed. And so in case something starts on fire again, it doesn't happen again. And also too, you know, as I was standing there watching my place burn down, the hose wasn't long enough. They kept saying over and over and over and over. And so I told them to back the fire truck up so they could get farther in. So I just wanna make sure in case something else starts on fire, that, you know, if the owner's there, they don't have to sit and watch the water not get turned on, whatever the problem was. I just wanna make sure the problem's fixed for future safety. You understand what I'm saying? Cause I tell you, I relive the moments in my head over and over, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, anyone else? Okay, that brings us to the chamber director report, please, Katie.
Hello, so start with the community center. High school wrestling practice is finished up and the little guys are still going, sounds like till the end of the month. The quilters getaway is next weekend in the community center, so if anyone hasn't purchased raffle tickets for that quilt yet, make sure you get some of those bought, because those ladies are selling the tickets for those. And then at our last council meeting, we had some pieces popping off of our council table. So it had about got Mike down there, I saw it. So it was brought to my attention that maybe that would be a good thing to update. And so I just want to let you guys know that that is in the works. I started looking at some options online and they were very expensive, like in the $10,000 to $12,000 range, and they were very large and very tall. And so Ashton Swift, she had brought up the idea of having Brandon Smith, he's one of our, just a local woodwork worker, come in and take a look at it, see if it's something that he would be willing to take on. And he came in earlier this week and looked at it, was really excited about it. He had a booth at the craft fair this past fall, and he does some really, really beautiful work. So we're really excited to see. He's gonna put together a few different design options and different cost options for us to look at, and just see if it's something that we would be able to go ahead with. And he even said that he might be able to use the bones of our existing table to save a little bit on cost, because it's still a solid piece of furniture. So anyways, just want to let you guys know that we're gonna, you come in here and that is no longer there and it's just a couple tables, it's because he's taken it out to start making a new one with it. So and let's see, for the chamber is a sponsor of the Wall Easter egg hunt that the Shriners put on. And I just found out that it will be on March 30th at 2:00 at the Wall Golf Course. And then I know it's a little ways down the road, but wanted to address the annual cleanup day, just so it doesn't get lost in case we get something new in or just changes that are going on. We have it set for May 3rd with a rain date of May 10th, and we would like to know if the city will pick up the tires and the transit station will be open like they've done in the past. Garrett.
I don't make the decision about the tires.
Well, we
You guys, but we will, if you guys.
That's,
And
that's
we'll have
a
it
really
almost-
good time to get rid of a lot of them. Aren't they kind of a bed for mosquitoes? Yep. What time, does it start at 7? Yeah, I should know this.
I think it's 7, yeah.
So, okay,
Is Waldrug still up for breakfast?
absolutely.
Thank you, Rick.
That was easy.
Or put him on the spot. Okay, and the transit station, is that,
That we'll have to talk to Kiefer.
okay, okay, are you able to talk to him?
Yep.
for me? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
All right, and then, our chamber board meeting that was scheduled for tomorrow, we're gonna postpone till next week. And then not sure if it's gonna be Monday or Thursday yet. And then, our chamber luncheon is Tuesday, the 11th, at noon at the community center. I hear we're having Indian tacos. Make sure you come out for that. And then the chamber annual meeting is April 16th at 5:30. That is all I have, unless somebody's got any questions.
When was the annual meeting again?
April 16th, 5:30.
5:30?
Yep. Why is the meeting starts at 6, but show up for 5:30 for food and breaks. All right, thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda is a special event liquor license. Can you, Carolyn, fill us in on that?
First, we'll repeal a resolution.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I wrote over the top of it with all the chamber stuff. Okay,
Oh, sorry.
all right, thank you. Repeal,
Last meeting, I asked for you guys to approve a resolution of some new codified law that allows a city to have their own liquor license for a city event to be used at. I misunderstood the process when I sent it to the Department of Revenue. They said that that event, this celebration, did not qualify under this type of thing. But instead, she informed me that there was some change with the special event license that is issued to the rodeo club and has been, and also to the celebration for malt beverage liquor. Now it can also be applied with liquor, the hard liquor. So I guess I don't know why we wouldn't just move forward on that. But I guess I do need a motion to repeal that resolution since it's not going to work for what we thought, what I thought it would work.
so would I have a motion to repeal resolution 250003?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
So typically what we do is when all of the other malt beverage license are renewed in May, that's when you also issue them for the rodeo club and the celebration. So I'll just include it on that, but just know that it would be under state statute allowed to have a special for the hard liquor. So.
Does the rodeo club still have to come?
Yeah, they submit a form and it's just listed in the agenda that they're all listed and you just approve them at that time. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that it can just have a special liquor license and not just a special malt beverage license. So my error.
Okay, so no action is required at this point.
No, I just wanted to remember to tell you that, so I'll put it on the agenda.
Okay, very good. Okay, that takes us to now resolution of intent 2505. And this is an intent to enter into a lease of real property. Can you tell us about this?
So a publication was, notice was published about this resolution. Anytime you agree to enter into something longer than 180 days, which would be the grazing land lease that we have, or any property of the city, you have to do a resolution to let the public know that you plan to enter for whatever time frame that is. And this resolution says for 3 years to enter into an agreement with the Eisenbrown cattle on the grazing land lease down by the lagoons.
Need the motion? I'd make that motion.
Okay, so it's been moved to approve resolution 2505.
Second.
Okay, been seconded. Any other questions or comments? This will be for 3 years. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So then that leads us into item 18, which is a lease agreement.
So yeah, just, I mean, you approved the resolution to do it for the 3 years, but I guess I would just like approval that you are issuing that grazing land lease to them.
I would move to approve the grazing land lease with Eisenbrown Cattle Company for 3 years.
Okay, and this is also worked in with the Forest Service. Is that true? True or not? Is that land on any Forest Service land? Okay,
I don't think there's a fence in between them.
No,
No, they
And
have,
that's-
that's the deal with it. And it can't really be fenced on the property line, so they have the LU lease encompasses the city ground down there.
so that is why we need to have this agreement, because it's not fencible. Okay. Would I have a motion to approve then the grazing land lease with Isaac Brown
So
Cattle?
Dan gave the motion to approve, but,
Second.
okay.
Jerry is seconded. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, this now brings us to a resolution of intent for hay ground planting agreement.
So this is the property that Kerstead Farm used to lease from the city, and they no longer want to do that based on, it's kind of been infringed upon by the industrial park and the extension of the airport runway. And so, the plan was to plant it for hay ground. And because of the time frame that it needs, and again, it would be like a 3-year time frame, we need to publish for that. We have this resolution of intent that will be on the April, not on the next meeting because, you're getting that, okay, let's see,
Did you send a map out to them?
yes.
Okay,
So I just wanted to give you a heads up that if you're okay with replanting that for hay ground, and that it would take longer than 1 season. So to have that resolution of intent published, and then it will be on the April 7th meeting because of the time frame. It needs to be published at least 10 days prior to the actual hearing, and our next meeting is the 17th. It would not be 10 days prior to that by the time we get to the, so it'll have to show up. So I haven't published it yet. I just wanted you guys to be aware that this is the process we would need to take for that. And yeah, I did include a map that shows you.
so the quad, if you're looking at a map that looks something like that, it's the ground that's in the upper left quadrant is the one we're talking about at this point.
It's like 146 acres.
Yes, 146.67. So this is a matter of awareness, or do we need a resolution? We don't have one.
This is just,
Informational,
yeah,
right?
just before I put the publication in the paper so that you guys aren't surprised with the, what the plan is, what the plan of action, since it's gonna be longer than a year to get it planted and to be able to hay on eventually.
Exactly. So, and there's a contract that's being worked on and it's in progress and conversation with the attorney on that. So then, if you still, is there anything more on that then, Carolyn, that?
I guess just if they don't agree,
Oh.
would be the only thing I'd want you to speak up at this time, but
So do I have consensus of the council to go ahead and allow us to work with someone over a 3-year period to till, plant, and hay that ground? Consensus here?
Yeah.
Consensus here? Consensus, Stan?
Yes.
Okay, so she'll move ahead with that then. And then on the agenda 2 is item number 20, which we've become aware that we do on the IP part, which is, was planted several years ago. We have a cheatgrass and I guess it's called broadleaf, weeds. And in working with, a couple of our young people that are very familiar with farming, spraying, it's been recommended to us that we do spray that hay ground. The estimated cost of that is it's a $12 an acre to do the application, $12.50 for the spray, which makes it $24.50 an acre. There's 130 acres here, so it would be about $3,185. Timing is important. It needs to be done between like about the 15th and April 1st. So we don't have an opportunity to go out. By the time we would get a bid for the hay on this, it's gonna be too late to get it sprayed. So I am proposing to the council that they allow us to go ahead and spray that hay ground to get ahead of our weeds at the present time.
Mary, what was the price again?
Well, it's 12 to apply it,
Total.
24.50 would be the total. Stan,
But didn't you have like a $3,000 total?
yeah, oh, $3,185. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay, finally. If you work hard enough, you can get the answers. So Stan, did you have any comments on this?
No, that sounds good to me. I think we need to move forward and get it done timely and correctly, and so it continues to produce good alfalfa.
Okay, so just because I really don't understand farming that much. If we spray now, then it'll be ready for next year.
We'll be ready for this year, and then maybe we can work a different option and offer the bid to hay it sooner and put that as part of the bid.
Oh, so this will facilitate it being operational this year. Awesome.
Get us going this year and then set us up right for next year. Good
I make
question.
that motion to approve.
Okay, so Jerry has moved
Second.
and Dan seconded. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, that brings us to the finance officer report.
Well, I just wanted to mention, I will put that industrial park hay bid that we're just talking about out to bid. It'll show up in next week's paper, and that will also probably be an April 7th agenda item.
To open the bids.
To open the bids then, so. Oops. So, under my report, first off, I just want to say a kudos. I got this, and I'm not really sure, I guess I felt it. They wanted me to express a kudos since it's addressed to me and I'm not the water system person. But it's from the DANR and I included it. It's congratulations for 18 consecutive years. The City of Wall Public Water System has met the requirements of the Safe Drinking Water Act. And so kudos to Garrett because that's as long as he's been working for the city.
Wow.
Just wanted to say
Wow.
Thank you.
Cool. Good job. Coincidence, Garrett?
Yeah. Your luck.
And then, so with Katie moving into the training position for the finance officer office, new equipment is going to be needed. And so I had Ron Larson, our IT guy, come over and visit so we could explain what we needed and that. So a new laptop that she will need, and we get the 5-year warranty and we look at replacing them every 5 years because they're not worth repairing at that time. That is $1,630 estimate for that. While he was here and we were discussing how the server worked and getting the network all together and stuff, he went back to check things and found out that our backup system was not working. So replacement of that, which will also enable him to see, he'll get notifications with this newer system that when our backup goes down, he'll know it without having to physically go back there. So that cost to upgrade that equipment is going to be $2,700. And so I guess I would like a motion to move forward with these upgrades to our system needed for getting someone else in the office and.
So moved.
On that.
And it would be for both of these quotes.
Yes.
We could do that.
That's my
together.
motion for
Okay,
both.
Rick has moved that we, move ahead with the new computer as well as the network, system that needs to replace what we've got now and not working.
Carolyn, a point of explanation, so our backup isn't working now.
Correct.
Oh, that's bad.
So it was lucky that we found that out, that he was here and did that, so. Okay, I have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Dan is seconded, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, anything else then, Carolyn, in your,
No, that's all I have this time.
okay. Public Works then, and we do have Ted on the line,
Yep,
Here
and
too.
we'll start out with, if you wanna start out with Ted and the
okay?
Second Avenue and Creighton Road water update.
So I did include your emails to everybody and your, cost estimates and stuff, so everybody has that for you, Ted.
If you have that in front of you, yeah, what we been working with Todd Sealer, TDM, on the Second Avenue Emergency Water Main project and getting quotes for different parts of the work, concrete, asphalt, traffic control, some little bit of water service boring to avoid some asphalt. So working with Todd back and forth, he ended up getting quotes from 2 or 3 different subcontractors for the asphalt, concrete, and we had a little bit of trouble getting a concrete bidder, to be honest. Not quite enough quantity to get someone out of Rapid City, contractor out of Rapid City, to come down and do that work. And so we ended up with just one concrete company looking at that. And we are a little bit higher than I estimated. Estimated about 160,000, coming in around 199,300. And so a lot of those dollars are in the concrete and the asphalt numbers. Everything else is fairly well in line. The water main's a little bit higher too. So between those 3 items, I think that's about where the costs are. We kind of have 3 choices tonight. Number 1 is to, reject all the bids and kind of start over and go to bid and build this either in the fall or the spring. That's one choice. I would expect that we would probably receive higher bids than even these over time as things go up in price and contractors get busier. That's what I might expect, and often happens. The other choice is we did add, kind of at the last go around here, Garrett and I were looking at the concrete out there. There's about 160 feet of curb and gutter that carries some water. I can possibly show you that on the screen, but what happens, I don't have sharing, but that's fine. There's a section of curb and gutter on Second Avenue that carries some water and holds some water. And so that was one that we did increase the concrete removal quantity by 190 feet of curb and gutter instead of about 30 to 50 feet. And so that added quite a bit of cost, especially considering our concrete prices that came in. So I did look at, if we left that curb and gutter in place, we only patched the concrete where we're working on the water services, and that reduced it down to about 21,000 less, down to 177,492. So that is an option for you to consider tonight. It doesn't take care of that concrete in that area, but I wanted to give you a different choice here of what we could do differently. So those are really the 3 options: either reject it, accept the full bid, or take a partial modified bid here.
So any questions of Ted?
So if we did the modified one, would we be able to go back next year or year after and finish that without duplicating or?
There could be a little bit of asphalt work that we would have to redo along the edge. We're kind of trying to match the curb face to the asphalt edge on the street. So it doesn't make it exactly terribly easy, I'll say, but it could be done. It could be done with some minor modifications to that asphalt.
But right now, you're talking a $22,000 difference, right? Between
Yes. Yep, it
Dave
is.
doing the option, the best option, or trying to save dollars that'll cost us more down the road.
Cost slightly more. We're talking probably $5,000 range. It's not something significant. So I don't know, Garrett, if you have a thought on that.
If we could pull it off, I'd like to see it done right, so we don't have more issues up there. The water gets underneath the asphalt or, and starts tearing stuff up.
Haven't we had a lot of problems in that area?
That area seems to have some maybe long-term, I don't know if it's groundwater or some water that doesn't get away from, it kind of sits in those areas.
Probably should. Carolyn, can we come up with the money?
I was looking for my budget.
Oh, you meaning the expense budget?
Yeah.
Okay, this is better.
Oh, no, I don't. Well, because I had it over there where it's stopped at.
That was my copy. It stopped right here.
Oh,
I failed to get that done ahead of time, so it's stuck.
but yeah, I was trying to look at your email, Ted. You said that doesn't include engineering fees, correct?
It's not, no.
Ken, approximately, what would the engineering be? Do you have an estimate?
Yeah, you guys approved it last month at $36,250.
$6,250, right? So that's actually in, if we approved it last month.
Right, but that we'd be paying that. We didn't expense that yet. I mean, we'll be
Okay.
paying it as he's working on it, correct? Then
Well, you
you'll
would
be
pay it as
submitting
you
us
go.
bills based on, yeah, right.
Yeah,
As you go.
So are you saying that this one project would cost us $36,250?
yes.
Maybe come in a little under budget, like that.
On the engineering or what? Yeah, right.
Well,
We
you
do
know,
have some testing in there as well.
we didn't put any projects in the budget this year just because we have loans to pay, and I wanted to kind of see how that went, and we were.
Fourth Avenue.
Right, yeah, the Fourth Avenue loan and also the housing loan and stuff, but. We did kind of end the 2024 cash on hand pretty more.
In better
more
shape.
better. Yeah, there you go. In better, it was like more better, that's not right. In better shape than I thought we would. So,
Exciting.
I feel you guys did approve it as being an emergency expense, and we will make it work.
Okay, so what I hear Garrett saying that it'd be best if we move forward. Did she answer your question?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Otherwise, the other's just kind of a Band-Aid fix. We come back in another side. Yeah. think
I don't even want to tell you what happened the other day.
What happened? What happened?
Well, we were supposed to tap the main, you know, for Norma.
Gittes?
Yeah. We had it all dug out nice, all cleaned up. We went back to get the parts. And the cap blew off the end and flooded the hole and part of the park. And yeah,
How big a line?
it was that 4-inch line.
Wow. Did it come clear up to the top?
Oh, yeah.
Came up and ran over, right?
Oh, wow.
And down the street.
So, you know, real quick job turned into an all-day job.
Did you get it rectified?
Yep, we got it done.
Oh.
So Band-Aids
Not
don't
easy.
work,
Right.
is what we're saying.
Well, the mini operator might hit a post and pulled it out of the ground.
I run the show.
So, no, that was my fault.
All right, so we know who.
But it was good when I left, but then when we came back, it wasn't good.
So Stan, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm good with that. I just asked the question just out of curiosity. I would agree with Rick and Carolyn. I mean, if we can swing it, I think we need to do it right.
Any other comments?
We just, one more block off the checklist for AC water main.
Okay. All right, so then would I hear, a motion to approve option 2 is what it amounts to, but it would be.
I'd make that
replacing-
motion to approve option 2.
Okay, Stan is moved
Second.
and, Jerry has seconded. And this is to accept the full bid, 160 south curb line replacement on Second Avenue. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then, thank you. And then I met with Aaron from West River Electric. And they're gonna start working on burying a lot of the overhead power, starting at the substation, coming in over by the airport and ball fields. And so when they bury that, they also need to bury a fiber for their office to read that stuff. So, and it's gonna run along, it'll run along 4th Avenue. It'll come down the corner like by the church. And it'll run along 4th Avenue, and then they'll go underneath the interstate with that. So it's just right on the property line. And I did sign that agreement with them, so.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay, anything else then?
Yep, the apartment, we got, all the plumbing fixed. We put in new shower fixtures because they were old and dated and, cleaned up the parking lot, and so it's ready to be. Got to do a little cleaning, but it's ready to go. Got a stove, refrigerator is there. So, yeah.
Okay, so we officially have an apartment to lease. I don't know if we have our contract back from Nathan yet, so we'll get that, but we would be ready to offer that. And we agreed already on what the lease was gonna be at the last meeting. Okay,
Then I want to add too that I'll probably next year in the budget, I'll probably add to replace the windows and door, which is they're in pretty rough shape, so we'll work
Okay.
on it a little more next year too, so.
all right. Okay, anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So moving on to the mayor's report, at the last meeting, Zach talked about, when we were talking about Second Avenue, he asked the question about whether we should involve sidewalks. And, since we're putting in, the new cement, new street, And Carolyn, proposed an idea that was used previously on Stone Drive, and I wanted her to share that with us on how Stone Drive put in their sewer.
Sewer line, yeah. They were all on septic. This is way before my time, of course, but in reading through documents and stuff over time, I saw that they came and asked the city if they would put in sewer line. And so how the proposal worked was the city covered the upfront cost, and then they assessed the property owner over, I'd have to go back and look at that paperwork, but I want to say it was over 5 years that the property owner paid back each year so much towards that cost. And it was based on their lot size, you know, so some people that have a larger lot would have covered more, paid for more based on that, and got the cost paid back over time. And I've attended a lot of meetings, you know, that's how a lot of towns actually get their sidewalks put in, is by putting it in, and then they assess the property owners back for that cost.
So does that have to go to the vote of the people or the?
I think there's an actual ordinance or something. I'd have to dig into it, because like I said, I've just seen it through looking at documents, and I've had people talking about it at meetings, but I haven't pursued with any questions just exactly.
So Carolyn mentioned that after Zach's comment, and so then and we're talking one block in this case, right? And so then I asked Ted to look into what that might cost, what that would look like, and so you also have an email from him that he addressed that. You may have wondered why that was in there, and so can you talk to us then, Ted, about that?
With the sidewalk, we did look at one block of sidewalk estimate on Second from Glen to Creighton. We would need to take out the fillets at the corners because they have a full height curb on them, and we don't have the ADA handicap ramps in them. And so we would have to take those out at the corners. And so that's somewhat of a significant cost in this, and providing those ramps in the corners. So we did estimated about $42,000 for that work. But considering the small size of it and I guess I'll call it our issues in getting competitive bids on small quantities of work, I added 25% to that, which increased it to about $52,000. So that's the order of magnitude rough cost estimate to put in sidewalk on both sides of the street on Second for that block. You know, historically, over time, we've found that if we don't have enough quantities of concrete or asphalt, these costs tend to go up, you know, per square foot. And so if we wanted to package that as part of a bigger project, it might bring down unit costs, and you might be able to get more done, you know, per square foot. So those are my initial thoughts here. If you had a 2, 3, 4 blocks of sidewalk that was all going in at the same time, you might get more competition, more interest from concrete contractors. You know, and one thing to note here is that Ellsworth Air Force Base is really tying up a lot of the concrete and the ready mix in the Black Hills. And so it's really quite difficult to get a concrete ready mix truck to your job site right now with all the concrete work going on at the base. So I don't want to discourage you, but I'm just letting you know that there's a lot of concrete work and asphalt going in because of the base, and it's impacting the rest of the economy in that construction market.
And so that would, when you say concrete, that would include more concrete than what our Krells, who's got their cement plant here, could accommodate.
Well, no, they could certainly do it, but what we've heard is they haven't run that, you know, very frequently lately. And so if I'm not sure the reasons why, whether it's workforce or the plant or, you know, I think it could be put back in service. And there's obviously, I think Kadoka has a Kroll ready mix plant also. So you would think that that would help us. And I'm going to tell you, historically, it hasn't really helped us that much because we've bid projects and 9 times out of 10, that concrete mix comes out of Rapid City.
Even though it's like Gibson Concrete and Phillip, or it's Kadoka's.
Never had a Phillip concrete mix truck in town.
Okay, all right,
There's only 3 residents on that,
Right,
so
but
plus our
$18,000 a piece, probably not why.
and plus the other side is Masonic, that's all driveway too, so.
It started.
We did include sidewalk along there, so on the Masonic side. So, you know, here's an approach that you could take. And some cities do take this approach, is to install the corner ADA ramps by the city, and then once you get that complete, then the landowner takes off from there and builds it further. So that is a choice. Anytime we take out one of those corner fillets in the wall, we always go back within a handicap ramp so that it's ready for the future. And so that's just my thoughts on that is if you want to make it, I'll call it more fair for the landowners, it's pretty expensive on that corner.
And the corners are in this bid,
They
or
are.
not,
They are in that price, yep.
so if we did that, that would be less. So, but what I think you're saying is we need to do more blocks than just one. We've addressed Zach's question, and unfortunately, he's pushing snow, so he wasn't here to hear it, so. So what is the thoughts of the other council members? Anyone else have comments?
They would wait till we got a bunch of it to do and see if we can get a.
And I was gonna,
Better.
I have a plan if we don't have a lot going on at some time, just to kind of go around town and condition the sidewalks or no sidewalks and get some measurements of by each address, how much it would take to.
Cause it will get cheaper. I mean, if they're gonna stabilize down here and they got a week's worth of sidewalk to do, you're gonna get more for your money with them coming down. And I mean, then they're ordering up one larger truck. You know, they spend a couple days framing stuff up, forming it up, and then one day pouring it, and then, yeah. I mean, your cost is a lot cheaper. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm just with what I was looking at doing in my shop, I think it was $500, no matter the amount coming out of Rapid, just to get the truck to come down. And then you have the cost of the concrete. So, I mean,
sorry, I was gonna say that then we'd have to do the whole town, and you're gonna have a lot of people mad at you. We can't just. pick
Well, we
3
can't do the
houses.
whole town at one time, but I think Zach's point was that as we do redo these streets, that's the time to address them, so. But yeah, you're exactly right.
Just a lot of money for one household, 18,000. Not only that, they have to shovel the snow that they're not using.
Right. That's the second part of that, so, okay. Any other thoughts or comments on that? Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention was that we did have an airport, some pilots fly in, 12 planes came in on Sunday, brought in 22 people. Garrett, myself, and Dave Jellica, helped transport them to the drugstore. They had a great time visiting, there. Dale Patterson happened to be in there when they arrived, and he knew most of them. But the common, question that I was asked in that, and you probably got the question too, Garrett, was were we gonna put fuel in at our airport? And they mentioned that Phillip is down this year because they're doing their runway. And so that's been under conversation, and I'll take that back to the airport committee, and then they also were asking about hangers. If we had those available, and Roshan just the other day took another call, wondering if we had hangers available at our airport. One of these gentlemen told me that, one in Spearfish sold for $500,000. I had no idea the airport, the hangers are worth that much, but, so that was a surprise. I reached out to Travis about where he was at. He said it would be June before he gets the stuff back from the FAA that tells him how he could move ahead. So the event was great. They were enthusiastic, loved coming to the drugstore for breakfast. And so it was, and they want to come back this fall and maybe do a fly-in again, where we might do the ambulance and the fire department and do some more things, showing off our airport, because they definitely said it's a well-kept secret. So we're moving ahead on that. And then Wildland Fire, when I reached out to those folks, our contract is in Pier being reviewed. And as soon as that occurs, then Tony indicated he'd be down here and starting to work on getting things set up. So, okay, that's all I have for this evening. Is there any other items for discussion? No action would be taken. Anything else anyone else wants to bring up?
Can I ask a question?
Oh.
The doll owner of dolls wanted to know, are you going to put a sidewalk in, on Glen Street eventually?
Well,
And
that's,
then they want to know, do they have to pay for it?
yes,
Yes,
it is a property owner's responsibility to pay for sidewalks.
so, okay.
But we very much appreciate the walkway they did put through. They, cleaned that, made that look very nice with their artificial turf. And then their, is it red rock or pea gravel?
Yeah.
And they made a nice walkable, walkway there until they do decide that they might like to put sidewalk. And I would see that as being a great addition for that.
I'll
So,
just have to answer.
yes, that'd be great.
I'd like to know.
If you'd like to visit about that more, have him contact Carol
Okay, thank you.
or myself, whichever
Okay.
works.
Sure.
Okay, any other items? That being said, we do have a need for executive session for personnel and.
Did you mention the next city council meeting?
No. Shall we?
Well, it's before executive session.
Okay, the next meeting is Monday, March 17th at 6:30. That's St. Patrick's Day.
We should try to wear green.
Yeah, everybody's gotta wear green, or what happens if you don't?
I don't know.
No pensions going on. That's why you wanted me to be sure to mention that. Okay, with that, do I have a motion?
I make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing legal personnel issues according to SDCL 1-25-2 parentheses, term 1.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to go into executive session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Ted.
Yep.
Okay, I am going to call us out of executive session. Is there any other action or comments that need to be made at this time? Hearing none, I declare the meeting adjourned.
Oh.